more wasting time, folks. Let's get on it. So thank you again. Appreciate you all for being here at the team meeting. So let's get started. You know how we start our afternoons. Next slide. All right, our mission to provide agents with a place where they will be empowered, trained, and motivated to experience growth, wealth, and a legacy that allows them to live their best life possible. Our belief, when the values of your company align with your own beliefs, you know you found your professional home. Okay. And then our vision, to achieve amazing professionals and personal development so that KW South Bay remains the agency of. Give yourself a round of applause. All right, next slide. All right, just quickly, I wanted to bring it to your attention. We have how to leverage ChatGPT in your real estate. Who's using ChatGPT? Okay, isn't that an awesome platform? It's awesome. It's like an assistant without really paying for an assistant. So Dr. Josh Stockman from CAR, Chief Technology and Innovations Officer, will be spearheading it at the South Bay Association of Realtors. How to? Oh, come on up and talk to us a little bit. Thank you. Let's give her a round of applause.
Oh, I'm from the PD office. So 2 months ago, I went to my PD board breakfast, paid $25, you know how that is. And Dr. Josh Stockman presented, and I was gonna go because a lot of these technology goes right over my head. But I thought, well, I should know about ChatGPT. How many people know it's been out since November 30th? How many people have incorporated it in your real estate production? Okay. One of the biggest things about ChatGPT and AI, you can actually use it in your property descriptions on your MLS. It's wonderful. It helps you, obviously, because a blank page is what you usually start off with, right? You can apply it in your marketing, newsletters, letters to your clients, just sold, just listed, whatever. So I would love to have you guys all come because this is for our office, the 4 offices that many supports. I'm getting nothing out of it. I just thought he was so cool. He broke it down, and I just called him up and I said, "Doctor, will you please do this for my office?" He goes, "Why not?" It's at the South Bay Board, June 14, 10 to 12. It's absolutely for free, but there is limited seating. There's only 70 seats. So I hope you guys all register today and see you there on June 14th. I've got some flyers if you guys want some. Okay?
Awesome. Thank you so much. With South Bay support.
Yes.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you so much. Again, if you want to scan the code there, again, Wednesday, June 14th, from 10 to 12 p.m. Okay, awesome. Thank you. All right, next slide. All right, so we have Allison. She is from our KW Long Beach Coastal office. So she wanted to talk to you a little bit of, how do you pronounce it? Epcot Solar?
Epcot Solar.
Yeah, so without further ado, let's give her a warm welcome. Thank you. You may want to center because you got the camera. The camera's right here behind you.
Okay, you want to make it?
Yeah, so Natalie will take care of it.
I'm an agent just like you guys, and I went to put solar on my house about 1.5 years ago, and it went bad. So now I've had a better experience, and I actually work with the company. And my friend and mentor, Rob Thomas, he is a co-founder of Pluralized Partners, best-selling author, speaker, coach, OP, helped over 200 people become millionaires, and we started multiple masterminds. So Rob, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Nice to be here and excited to roll out this Pro Alliance partnership with another market center, along with my partner, Chad and Rich. And really, we recognized that there were problems, that we're having as realtors in the marketplace with solar. We wanted to provide a resource to help support realtors to push those deals through, navigate through some of them, and then help maybe have you guys be compensated in the case that some of those people qualify for some of the government programs that are out there, and really educate people on the Inflation Reduction Act and what people mostly don't know. Over to you, Chad.
Yeah, my name is Chad Lindsay. I'm a team leader in the North Florida region and also a mentee of ROC. And we got collaborating an idea that started a little bit with this idea around how can we help agents and market centers make a little bit more money. And yet this bridged really quickly into thoughts about, we bridged into solar in this conversation because he's been consulting for many years in solar. And we want to sort of expound on that a little bit, explain the value of it. And yet we know there's challenges out there, and we're going to talk about how it's been done wrong. So please don't turn your ears off. We understand as we've gone through the country, one of the biggest issues is there's a stigma because of how things have been done wrong with solar. And yet we need to advise you that there is a lot of benefits. And I want to hear from ROC a little bit about his experience so he can share that with you and what he's seeing on the front lines and the massive value for the consumer. And we will talk about how we're addressing issues moving forward. But this is about finding ways to bring value to the consumer. So ROC, what did you learn as you were out there consulting over the last couple of years, and why you decided to said, hey, now's the right time to bring this to the real estate agents?
Yeah, it dawned on me that the people I was coaching were knocking on doors and putting these misleading ads out on social media. And I thought, why is the agent not bridging that conversation with the homeowner? We're running into problems with leases, removing panels from roofs, roofs that need to be redone, and how to time all of that. So I did a little research, and I found out that it's taken 40 years to get 4 million homes with residential solar on it. Yet now the prices of technology have driven the cost down, and the price of energy going up the last couple of years, especially. And then with the tax incentives, Chad, that the government's offering and some additional ones in certain states, it just makes sense for people to go solar. So 8 million people are going to go solar. People that we're talking to right here in the market center, probably some of them will go solar, some of their clients. And then as an OP, I thought, well, what is a way that we can help in this slowed down market, create some additional revenue for our agents? And that's when I thought, if we educate them on what's happening in this space, and they can be the people that help solve the problems and do more transactions. And in some cases, help some of their contacts and owners have an energy consultation with Allison in this case, and correct what's being done poorly, change that narrative, and have a trusted advisor, somebody that can go in and help them go solar if the numbers make sense. And in California, of course, it's the best state to do that.
Yeah. And so we've realized there's been a problem, and it's not necessarily that the sales force out there is the problem. There's people trying to make a living, going out there and selling a product. And yet some of them are coming from this dynamic of because there's a lot of money involved in it, and there has been, it's attracting a lot of people that are seeking that kind of opportunity. And yet what we're seeing is the challenges more on the customer service side. When there's issues with roofs and issues with transactions, there's not really anybody to service that. And that's where our heart is starting. We're realtors. Both ROC and I are realtors. That's where we have made our bread and butter. We care about the core value of being a realtor, and we've seen a lot of challenges out there. So we wanted to kind of kick it back to you guys so that we could clear the air on this. What have you guys been seeing out there in regards to challenges around solar? Has anybody in the room had transaction issues around solar and issues that were problems? And Allison, you're going to have to sort of go around the room for us and help bring some of these stories out. We'd like to hear from you guys.
Yeah, the basic challenges we have is when we're trying to close with a buyer and finding out whether or not it's leased or whether or not they own it, and trying to navigate the escrow process, because it becomes a big giant when we're going to close escrow when it has solar panels.
And how did it make you feel about solar overall when you experienced those issues?
Whenever solar, it was like, I don't want to deal with this right now. So Yeah, because there's no understanding, there was no understanding about the process.
Yeah. Who else in the room has had an issue? Anybody else had something they're dealing with?
Okay.
Yeah, we refer a client to Northern California, so when they submit an offer, the MLS says own solar. Unfortunately, by the time they were doing the inspections and everything, the solar was like maybe a year old, and the cost of that solar was like $60,000. If my client would have known, if my client would have known, they would have offered less money. So we had to put for that, and we sent it to Hughes to pay for it, and they had to cancel the transaction.
Yeah, wow. So just not having the clear expectations of the cost. And then what I'm hearing from the other fellow was, and sorry, what was your names? I missed those names. Who shared initially?
Seeing Fred.
Fred, is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, awesome, Fred. And who was the lady?
Rosie.
Rosie and Fred. All right. So, those are great things that we're also seeing on the front lines. And so, Fred, I want to ask you a question, Fred. When you dealt with that issue, who was the solar expert that you called to help you with your issues on that transaction?
Escrow.
Escrow.
Escrow. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Say that again.
Escrow. He said escrow.
Escrow. Okay. So you didn't have anybody that you had as an expert that you were able to call. Is that what I'm understanding?
Right, because the problem was that the sellers did the solar, but they didn't keep up with the contract, so we had we had to find the contract, find the number, who to call, to find out what the balance was and all of that, so that was the
Yeah.
frustrating.
Yeah, so this is the key focus. And guys, as a team leader, I'm running an office that does about 150 deals a month, and we're getting about 10 to 15 solar issues a month that agents don't have any clue on who to go to ask for help. So this is where our initiative starts and where the epicenter of the value begins, is we want to partner with you guys to start helping you deal with transaction issues, because this is where we're getting a lot of the stigma from the agent side of the coin. And we want to earn the right to have a better relationship with you guys over time as we learn together on how to solve issues. We've got about 5 of them we're dealing with right now that are real palpable, and we're getting a lot of amazing solutions by getting more and more of our hands dirty with the process. And so I just want you to think about that. If you don't have someone to call right now that's a renewable energy expert, we want to be that go-to first. That's the first place we want to win with you in our relationship. And then we're going to work on other wins as we move forward. Rocky, you have anything to add to that?
No, I think that's great. Allison's going to be the go-to person for the market center, boots on the ground, somebody local. And then she's got a support system virtually through us. I'm an OP, you're a TL, so we understand the levels of support that are required in a market center. And just a quick example is we had another case, it's a little bit different, but somebody that needed to redo their roof after, 10 years or 15 years of solar panels. And they got one quote for $12,000. And we were able to facilitate that through our connections and get that quote down to about $3,200 and save the homeowner approximately $9,000. And so who was the hero? It was the agent in Chad's market center that came up with the solution through our resources. And so that's where it all begins, is to fix a industry that is not regulated, that's been a little wild, wild west, and come in and be professionals about it and provide the communication and the resources to solve problems, and eventually to initiate the conversations with people that don't have solar and see if they qualify for the federally funded programs and benefit from reducing their energy costs, which today, again, is based on the economy. People are all looking to reduce their energy costs. And so that's the second piece, is what if you've got a homeowner you just sold a house 6 months ago or 12 months ago or 2 years ago, and you could eventually talk to them about getting a consult complimentary through the Market Center initiative. And we can't promise anything, but at least we can provide them with the education and see if they qualify for any of the programs that the government is throwing money at. Literally billions and billions of dollars is being thrown at trying to reduce, the weight on the grid right now, and especially again in California and some of the federally some of the grants that are out there federally. So that's where we're starting, Chad.
Yeah, and we believe if we earn the relationship with you by helping you understand that we fix transaction issues and that you're not going to cause clients issues with solar, we need to mend some of that relationship overall, that you'll get more excited about what it can do on the benefit side. We find a lot of agents are really reluctant because of all the transaction issues they're having. So just want to really make sure you understand our focus. But we do want to share with you, if you happen to get excited to share the good news and you help someone get linked up with a great solar advisor like Allison, and they decide to move forward, your stake in that commission could be upwards of $1,000, and that could be a neat thing. That could be exciting to you. But we have some other ways where you could maybe be more passive in that, maybe handing off some of your past clients to having someone call them on your behalf, if that's something you're interested in, or you could be more active in marketing this idea. And we have different comp plans and ideas around those things, but that certainly isn't our focal point. We want to begin a relationship with you, have you join our Facebook page, get connected with us, start the conversation, give us challenges that you're dealing with, and start to develop a relationship around these issues. And we really would love for you to take a call from our renewable energy expert, which is going to be Allison, and have a little bit more of a one-on-one about your thoughts and feelings and maybe how she can help you move forward. And the best way we recommend to learn the most is to have your own personal experience. It's the thing that changed me and made me a raving advocate for this company, Apricot, and the whole industry altogether. Was Rock did a presentation for me, and it blew my mind. And it was such a cool experience. And so we really highly recommend you to get involved. So for those that are QR code capable, I know there's that whole thing going around the world. We've got you an easy access to pop on our Facebook page. We'd love for you to pop on there and say hi, and maybe just do an initial interaction. Say, hey, I've had this challenge and this issue, and we'd love to reach out to you. And hey, if you've had some successes or some clients that are real happy with it, you can share those things too. But this is our main interface source. So if you have questions, you can reach out to Rock and I through that page. And that's sort of all I have for you. Rock, you got anything else you want to add?
Yep. Also, we have frequently asked questions posted in there and some resources. So we're going to use that as a place that we can help you go through the process of understanding the renewable energy space, which is a huge industry today. And once a week on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. your time, we have an open Zoom format that is hosted by myself. So you can pop in there, ask questions. You can learn things about the industry and just get connected with this whole conversation. So we're just trying to create an environment to support you and educate you so that your deals you're working on now get saved and pushed through, and we avoid having deals in the future that get messed up because solar is being put onto a homeowner by somebody other than the influence that's coming from yourselves. So I don't know if we have time for a question or two or a comment, but certainly happy to be here.
Excellent presentation. Thank you so much, Chad and Rock. Any questions? Yes, Rosie.
Can you be clear how exactly it works? You sell solar systems, and we refer those systems to you from our clients? Exactly how that works.
I'm not sure if you heard the question.
Yep.
She's confused. Does she refer the clients to you and you sell them on the goods of the solar panel? I don't know, Allison.
Yeah.
So
We have scripts for you to call your past clients. We have scripts for you can touch base with everyone, or if you're a buyer. So I had a listing last month, and the seller asked me to sit down at the home inspection because they were out of town. So I sat with the buyer and the buyer's agent, and I happened to mention something about solar. And the buyer said to me, I want solar. I want to buy it from you at the close of escrow. So I said, great. Just another conversation. So like if you have a buyer, that's in escrow, you might want to ask the listing agent for the utility bills and then send me the electric bill. And then I can say, hey, at the close of escrow, we can pay you XYZ on your electric bill. With interest rates where they are and the economy going the way it is, we want to help our clients, right? So I have a flyer here with benefits of solar. Also, when you get solar, it takes the pressure off the grid. You're buying solar anyway, you just don't have the panels on your house. So somebody else is selling their solar energy back to the grid. So we're gonna have less blackouts and stuff like that when you get solar. There's a ton of benefits to it. So yeah, and we have an incentive program. Yeah.
So explain the financing for the buyer. Is that included in the mortgage loan? Can you ask the seller to help pay? Is it a separate loan? How does that work?
So for a brand new buyer that's buying their house, no, it's a separate loan through a different company, and it actually minimizes it takes the place of their electric bill, and it's smaller. And they might want to add on a roof, they might want to add in I added an electrical panel. Over 25 years, I'm saving $138,000. Manny's saving, I think, $73,000 on his over 25 years. He's got a smaller system, but yeah, no, the seller has nothing to do with this. This is something this is like an addition that you're doing after the close of escrow. Has nothing to do with
Does the
escrow.
company offer financing to the buyer?
Yeah, we have financing. There's obviously cash options too.
And what are the rates?
So rates go up as you know, as interest rates go up, they go up. Right now, there's several different options. So the lowest rate, I think, isn't it 3.99, 3.99, and but it's got fees on it. So I think 10.99 has no fees attached to it.
So just give us like for an average 1,500 3-bedroom, 1-level home. What is the cost? What is the average?
There's no average because I don't know the usage of the home. I don't know where the sun hits it. I don't know how many layers to the roof there are. I don't know if there's trees, so there's a whole process going through around
Is
it.
that what they base the cost of the solar farm? Where it's located, how much sun it'll get or
Some houses don't qualify for solar because they might have trees hitting them, or it's just too complicated because the roof has too many different angles. So it's each individual. So you could have two 1,500 square foot houses. One has 5 people in it, and one has a single guy that travels, and they have completely different usage. So I think there isn't really an average.
How do you pay the commission?
What?
How do you pay the commission to him?
Through the market center. And the
So-
market center is going to get a small percentage as well. So your profit share is going to increase.
So is it 1,000 for each?
It's a
Okay.
percentage, so it varies depending on the commission, so.
Any other questions? Yeah, Christine.
I didn't hear in the conversation, so if you go to a house and the house has existing solar. But it looks like it may be a much older version. Is that something that, we would go to you to find out whether it's actually still usable and what to advise the homeowner?
Yeah, we can help you with that. So we've all had experience with that. They have market centers, both of these gentlemen. We have a big network. So we've rolled out 41 market centers. So yeah, it's. Yeah.
In the past, like if it is an older system, I know technology moves on this quite quickly. Is it almost better to get the current seller to have the existing solar removed if it looks older, or just to go through the process during the inspection process to get
Yeah,
an assessment?
it depends. I'd have, it's kind of like a 1,500 square foot house. I kind of have to know the detail. all of
And
this.
we really recommend, especially as this gets more and more popular. So as soon as you take a listing that has solar on it, you really need to reach out or get on the Facebook page. We just had this happen with an agent of mine. We introduced this to our office a couple months ago. He was a little slow to engage in the process, and now he's calling up yesterday just frantic because there's an issue with transferring a set of panels over to the buy side. And the buyer is qualified to buy the home, but having trouble getting qualification for what they call an assumption of the financing package for the solar. And if we could have had the conversation on the front end when he got the listing, we could have asked more questions, got a little bit clearer, and had a better plan of attack on how to transition this particular package over. And that's what we want to help you guys with, especially in this early season as you're getting more comfortable with the challenges of solar. And then on the buy side, there's a lot of different ways to skin the cat. So on the negotiation side, it becomes a thing that we have to start learning. How do we negotiate with this in mind? Do we want to try to go in and get the seller to pay off those panels in the process? Do we want to maybe use a a construction type of loan when we're buying, so we can assume that debt into a 30-year debt. And then what that means, we got to collaborate with our, with our mortgage broker as well. Or do we want to do an assumption or use a third party potentially in that process? So these are areas that are really gumming up transactions. And that's, like I said, where we want to start first is helping you guys with these issues. And we want to make that Facebook page the place where we can all learn better from each of these scenarios.
Yeah, and if I could just add, I would say that these are great questions, by the way. So thank you for that. And the idea is that Allison is the go-to person for everything solar now, renewable energy, inflation reduction. You can get hot water tanks, heat pumps, windows, doors, and all kinds of things and get tax credits. So we want to help you be the authority in the face of your customers, your clients. And so just drive everything to her. What she can't answer, she'll bring to the team, and then we'll get our resources on it and we'll get back to you and we'll continue to solve those problems for you until you get to a place where you're more comfortable with some of the basic solutions as well. And then, like Chad said, we'll set you up to win with the listing now. If it has solar, how to market that, how to market so everybody wins. And so that's the narrative is, just ask us the questions, show up on the Facebook group, show up on the weekly calls, and we're going to be the go-to people for you to help you mitigate these problems.
Awesome, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Let's give them a round of applause. Allison, thank you.
All right. Great job, Allison. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
Right.
Yeah, thanks, Rock. Appreciate it. All right,
Okay.
let's
Thank you.
continue.
Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Do apologize. We had a little bit of a technical issue with the system, so we had to navigate it into my laptop. I know it doesn't sound that loud, so bear with us. So silence is, it's good right now. That way we can listen. All right, let's go ahead. Next slide, please. All right. I want to bring, some of you may not know Eric Chavez. So Eric is going to be talking a little bit of the casino night that's happening on June 16th, part of area LA Coastal. So let's give them a round of applause. Wendy as well. Amanda, good to see you.
Hi guys, good afternoon. I see some familiar faces and some new ones, and I like the remodel.
Thank you. Yes.
Are you guys all familiar with ARIA?
Yeah.
A little bit, somewhat. It's the Asian Real Estate Association of America. We primarily focus on education, policy change, leadership, all of that will lead to sustainable housing within the AA and HPI communities. On a serious note, we really focus on those things. We have over 46 chapters nationally. We just got back from our national DC event where we were lobbying and pitching our 3-point plan, which included like equitable appraisals and fighting the problems that are happening with that. On a fun note, our local LA Coastal chapter is hosting our annual casino night. We're going to have it at the Lucid car dealership across the street in about 2.5 weeks. It is a Bollywood Dreams theme. We would love to have you guys there. It's going to be a ton of fun. This is something we do every year. We finally brought it back last year after COVID. Yeah, it's just a good, a good time. We do a poker tournament. We'll have a craps, blackjack, and roulette, food, dancers, DJ, and you get to kind of scope out some of the Lucid cards as well. So we have some flyers. I'm going to let Wendy, who's our membership chair, talk to you guys a little bit about what's upcoming as well.
Great. So this is our fundraising event. Sorry, I'm a little lopsided. This is our fundraising event that we do annually. And like I said, we brought it back last year in a small scale. Now we're going a little bigger. This is the one event that it's open for everyone. So you don't have to be a member to attend. Right now the fee is only like $40 for to attend our casino event. Then it goes up sometime next week or so, whatever. But if you want to become a member, this is a great organization to be part of. You don't have to be Asian. Hello. And you can join. It's a really easy thing to do. It's great for networking. You get to know a lot of different people in the industry, not just here locally, but everywhere. This actual organization supports all chapters. So we've gone to San Diego for events, Anaheim. You was just at Anaheim this weekend. So there's different stuff that goes on that would really utilize your expertise in real estate and all that good stuff that comes with it. We do have other events coming out throughout the month. Once a month, we have an event, just for you guys to know. Please follow us on social media, Aria LA Coastal on Instagram and Facebook. And if you want to purchase the tickets for this, the link are on Instagram as well as Facebook. So we just wanted to come in, promote our event, see your beautiful faces at our event in 2 weeks, June the 16th on Friday, 5 o'clock at the Lucid Motors. And then you can see the most expensive electric cars while you're there.
Some of the expensive.
Yeah. So
The nicest one, less leather, all that good stuff.
our annual membership is turning over July 1st. So it's from July 1st on, it'll be prorated, but it starts at $99 for the year until next June, which basically it's a networking group for you to be a part of that also, you know, lobbies and fights for something that's really great for our minority community. So I highly recommend it. It is mostly realtors, so you will have a networking group nationally as well. Our national convention this year is going to be in October in Chicago. All our members are welcome to come to that as well. For our LA Coastal chapter going forward, we're going to have like our Taste of Asia event, which is going to be paired with, I think we're going to do like a home buyer seminar. We are going to have a wellness event coming up and a lot of other give back philanthropy events as well. So would love to see more of you guys.
And one thing that Eric failed to say, he's also the current president.
Yeah, I'm the chapter president.
So he forgot to say that, so I'm bringing it up. So congratulations, by the
Thank
way.
Yeah.
Awesome.
A couple more years. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions?
It is a
Yeah.
very cool organization. So if you want to learn a little bit more, I highly recommend that you join as a member. What's the cost again? I'm sorry.
Well, right
Okay.
now it's prorated, so
Okay.
July the 1st. So right now, if you join, it's $16.50.
Gotcha.
And then starting on July the 1st, because we go by the fiscal year, so it's $99. So go from July 1st to June the 30th of 2020.
Yeah, and you get to attend all these cool events as well. So
Yeah.
beautiful.
Any
All right.
questions?
Good.
Are we good?
Awesome.
Well, we'll leave some flyers here for you guys and hope to see you in a couple weeks.
Eric and Wendy.
Thanks, Simon.
Thank you. All right, casino night. Who loves casino? We used to have casino night. Remember, see? All right, so next we got Mr. Fred Howard. Got some money coming out of your pocket, sir.
Oh, I do? Whose house is this? Hey, great. Can I ask you guys a question? How come growing up, we lose some of the things that we have when we get older? How many remember that when you were growing up, we imagined a whole lot of stuff, didn't we? Our imaginations was great. Our imaginations were boastful. Our imaginations were beyond belief because our parents were like, yeah, right. You want to be the president. Yeah, right. Remember, we got all those, right? Well, let me tell you something. When we got older, we changed our imaginations into goals. And then our goals became, oh, goodness, I didn't reach my goal. Well, I want to leave this with you. You know, I don't talk long. Only on Sundays when I'm preaching do I talk long. So you guys get a break, okay? But there's a bold law that says you deserve what you give. You deserve what is in your imagination. What's in your imagination is what you deserve. So if you imagine that you are a top realtor, I'm not talking about being a top realtor. I'm talking about imagining being a top realtor. Because when you imagine you're being a top realtor, if you're doing the necessary things that needs to be done in order to be that top realtor, you can be a top realtor. Now, do you have to be a top realtor in this office? That was a question. Can I tell you something? You are actually a top realtor. Because guess what? You may not be the top realtor in this office, but you may be a top realtor in somebody else's office. That means that you're going beyond what someone else is doing. So you take advantage of what your imagination says that you can do. And don't lose that imagination because you deserve what your imagination says. And if you believe right now that you deserve what's in your imagination, because guess what? When you go to Vegas, you don't have a goal to make money, right? When we paid the lotto, hello, Allie. When we pay the lotto, play the lotto, we don't have a goal to win money. We have an imagination that we will win the money, right? And in our imagination, guess what? When we come, we ask the question, what are you going to do with all that money when you win the lotto? You get excited until they run all those 7 numbers. And then you have to start all over and you have to realize, okay, am I gonna put more money in the pot or am I just gonna leave it alone? So I'm going to encourage you. You deserve what's in your imagination. So keep your imagination bold, keep it strong, keep it extensive, and make sure you share your imagination with others that are around you. Okay? That's all I gotta say. I'm gonna shut up.
Never disappoints, right? Fred, never disappoint. So thank you. Awesome. Yeah. Love the energy. I love the intensity that Fred brings to the team meetings. All right, let's continue. Next slide. All right, Mr. Chris Rivera. It's been a while since we heard from Chris. What's up, Chris?
I thought I was going before Fred. Did you cover this last time? All right, whose house is this? Yeah, got it. All right. So first things first, crisis was averted. Thank God. That ceiling looks like it's going to get passed hopefully this week, at least by the House. It's a good thing because going into the weekend, rates were over 7%.
Yeah.
Which is why I went in hiding, because they were ugly and there was no way around it. The good thing though is because of that, the reprieve is the markets love the news. We're starting to see them slide. They're now sub 7, about 6.75, depending on your FICO score. They will continue to slide. The good thing though is the fundamentals will take over now. They should. I know last time I presented that we're going to see rates in the 5s. We will, just have to be patient. But now that we're past this debt ceiling crisis, we are going to see rates slide down. Hopefully, we will see them in the 5s late summer, because that's going to bode well for you guys. And I want to take it back to this phrase that we coined a few months ago, where you marry the property and date the rate. Because guys, when rates hit that 5% mark, we know there's going to be a lot of demands. We're already hearing from a lot of the economic people out there that values will increase by 5 to 6% year over year for 2023. So we know the values are going to be there. They're going to continue to escalate. We have a scarcity of properties to sell. I don't need to tell you guys that. You know that all too well. Rates go down, you're just going to increase that demand. It's going to be hard to get those people with low downs to get their offer accepted. So keep pushing it. Remember that phrase, marry the property, date the rate. Because when rates come back down, if you don't own that property, you can't refi into that lower rate. You're just going to be subject to the market conditions at the time. So anyway, I'm going to keep it simple. That's it. Next time, the floor, Fred, please. All right.
When's the first time home buyer seminar in June?
It's not gonna be in June. It's gonna have to be in July. We don't have a date. I know Bob's been pushing that. Did I see it show of hands? How many people want another seminar first part of July?
I've got 3 people ready to go.
Love it.
That's enough. Okay, all right, you got it.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. No wonder Chris was hiding for 3 weeks. He was afraid that he handled the high interest rates. All right, let's continue. Next slide, please. All right, so quick broker update, and I'm gonna have Steve, because Steve also wants to share some stuff as well. Who had a good time when we did the listing presentation a couple weeks back? Okay, wasn't that pretty cool?
Yeah.
It was a little intense, a little nerve wracking. You were cheering for that one agent, right? And we have phenomenal agents that participated. Bob was one, Joe was the second, and then we had Cheyenne. Speaking of Cheyenne, right now she's out in the Riverside County going on 2 listings.
Yeah.
2 listings right now.
This is now by.
2 listings and a buyer. One is in excess of 1.2 million probably. The other one is in the 700,000, but it's 2 listing back-to-back appointments. It's a seller that's looking to sell 2 properties.
She'll get them.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
two listings. So we're definitely excited for Cheyenne, and she definitely presented her best that day, right?
She's on script, she's good.
Yeah. So what I wanted to do, and I think I mentioned this to you, is we want to now pivot and now do what's called a buyer consultation. Okay, a buyer consultation. I have 3 agents. Bob, unfortunately, you cannot be part of this. Joe, unfortunately, you cannot be part of it. But I have 2. I'm just waiting for 1 more to confirm, but we're looking at in 2 weeks, June 14th. In lieu of the team meeting is to have a buyer consultation, the same process. 3 agents will present to a buyer or buyers of what that looks like, and then the buyer and the agent will exchange any objections. Okay, so you guys ready for that?
Yeah.
Okay, so mark your calendar, June 14, 12 p.m. Each of the agents have 20 minutes to present. And then at the end, we'll choose the winner. Yes.
Is there any way to do June 14th at 12:30, given there's the chat Tuesday, from 10 to 12 at the Escort office?
Is that when it's happening?
Yeah. 14.
Thank you, Christine.
Ooh, okay. Let me see what I can do. The good thing is we haven't even created the flyer. So we can definitely move it if we need to. I just need to get a hold, but out of respect to that class, because I know we'll get a lot of participation. I didn't realize that it was at the same time frame or about that. So yeah, we'll definitely, thank you so much for so yeah, maybe we'll push it 1 more week. Let me look at our schedule, but I just wanted to bring it to your attention that that's the game plan that I want to have is now a buyer consultation competition. Okay, so just keep it in the back of your mind. Thank you. All right, broker updates. Steve, if you can come up here real quick. Steve is going to bring you some insights on what he wants. So let's give Steve a quick round of applause. Good morning and afternoon.
How many of you love the real estate contract?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, every hand should be up. Why should every hand be up? Because it's only when you have a real estate contract that gets accepted will you end up making any money. So anyways, I love the real estate contract. Okay, I love it. I have a real estate contract training company. One of the things I'm going to start doing starting this evening is once a week, starting from 7 p.m., I'm going to be having a contract Q&A on Zoom where you guys end up coming in and asking me questions, okay, where all of us then are able to then learn, okay, based on the questions on then when I answer the questions. And I'm sure if one has a question, it may be the same question that you have. So I'm going to get us on the training calendar where you can just click the Zoom link. But for this evening, it starts tonight. If anybody wants to join this evening, I need for you to be able to text me your name and email address so I can send you the manual Zoom invitation. So my phone number is, take your pens up, or just text me right now out on your phone, whatever's easiest for you, is 310-561-2261. Once again, 310-561-2261. Now I need for you to come with your questions. This is not going to be formatted where I have a designated answers to questions. It's going to be on a kind of almost a first come, first served basis of questions up. And we will tackle them, but it's only going to be for 1 hour, even though I'm sure we'll have many more questions, but each week it'll just be from 7 to 8 p.m. All right, so I don't care if you're munching on dinner, okay? You can do that as well. And any questions? 310-561-2261. I need for you to text me your name and email address. If I don't have your name and email address, can't send you an invitation for this evening. And after that, I'm hoping to get on to the training thing where you won't need to do it that way. You can just end up clicking in like all the other training programs we have on Zoom. All right, looking forward to seeing you this evening. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Steve, as always. All right, I want to kind of pivot a little bit. I want to introduce you to one of our phenomenal affiliates with MyNHD. So let's give Eric a round of applause real quick. How are you, Eric?
If I'm not the slide, let me just put this here.
Yeah.
So you can see us there.
Awesome.
Hey, everybody, I'm supposed to go before Fred.
Sorry. Everyone wants to go before Fred.
I do love the contracts because MyNHD is the top spot of the drop down of the natural hazard disclosure report. And there's a reason why we're the top spot. We're the world's leader in natural hazards. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing?
Awesome.
I love that. That was great. Not as great as the applause Fred got, but I'll still try and match your enthusiasm. Okay. I'm so glad to be introduced to you, Simon. Thank you very much. I'm Eric Spitz with MyNHD. We are the world's leader in natural hazard disclosures. I know this doesn't excite you a whole lot, but I'm going to let you know that it's the sexiest part of the transaction, right? Isn't it?
For you.
For me, and it's super important for you. Why? Because the seller and the agent need to make certain disclosures to the buyer. The buyer should have this information for their own due diligence. Guess what? We're doing the work. Everybody's getting the protection. That's what we do. And we've been doing this a long time. I started doing these reports in 1994, became a law in 98, and still going strong today. And we are the world's leader. Why is this so important? Because when the buyer gets this report, remember, they have 3 days right of rescission to get out of the deal for any reason they want to. Maybe they wanted to be in a flood zone. Maybe they wanted to be in an earthquake zone and they're not in it. They can ask out of the deal. So the earlier you get this report to them in the transaction, the better you are, because they're going to get rid of that 3 day right of rescission, right? Order upon listing. Order upon listing. That way we can deal with these things. Now, if your clients have a question about the NHD, what does it mean that they're in a liquefaction zone? What does it mean that they're in an earthquake zone? What's your typical answer for that? How do you answer their questions?
Call the rep.
Call the rep. Thank you so much. We have amazing reps. Call our customer support number. Call the number on there. We can have even a geologist speak with them and answer their questions. Because if you put yourself in that liability loop saying, you just don't want them saying, my agent told me. My agent told me. Remember, we're doing the work and everybody's getting the protection, and we back it up with a $10 million E&O insurance policy through Farmers Insurance right here in California. And that being said, there's never been a loss to any party because of any error in a MyNHD report. I love what we do. And you can be so proud that when you order the MyNHD product, that it's the absolute best product out there. 4.5 years ago, we introduced actual aerial maps in our reports. So when you click on view maps, it actually shows you the actual aerial maps. Every other company out there still has cartoon maps. 4.5 years ago, we introduced actual aerial maps. And if for some reason you get a printed copy of the report, we give you a nice little QR code right there. So you just take your phone to the QR and the maps pop right in your phone. Easy. We're the only company out there in our terms and conditions, and we all know how important terms and conditions are, right? We're the only company that doesn't require you to go to small claims court or arbitration. And some of the reports out there, if you read them, we'll send you to arbitration in San Diego or in Fresno. You don't want to leave LA. You don't want to get involved with that. We don't even allow you to go to arbitration with our report. That's how much we stand behind it. We're going to bring in attorneys. And that being said, there's never been a loss to any party because of any error in a Miami HD report. We know what we're doing. And our last paragraph of our terms and conditions, because they are so important, is we indemnify your sellers, your agents, your buyers, your TCs, your managers, your office managers, escrow, everybody in the transaction is indemnified. We do the work, and again, everybody gets the protection. What questions might you have for me about the sexiest part of the transaction? Anything for me at all?
Is that you on the flyer with the
I don't quite have that clue, but no, this is more me. Voted best service by an independent lab, right? That's me. Not so independent because it's wearing a little collar that says Miami HD. We actually had a manager of a real estate office, not you, Simon, that actually said, how'd you get an independent laboratory to determine you guys were the best service NHD company? It's a Labrador. Come on, it's a Labrador. This is the questions we got. But no, this is not me, but I thank you for that endorsement, Fred. Fred and I had a nice little chat in the restroom earlier. Thank you.
That includes environmental.
So 94.95 includes the environmental. Should we order the environmental? That's a great question. It is 74.95 for the basic report. Should we order environmental?
Yes.
Yes. Why? Because you don't want to give that buyer any excuse to come back down the road and say, you didn't tell me about something. And it might have been an environmental issue. A prime example of that, there was a client in Texas where these people ended up being able to give their home back because during certain times of the year when they bought their home, during certain times of the year when the wind blew a different direction, they felt the smell of some dump site 2 miles away. They were not told that when they bought the house. And then 6 months later, they start smelling that every day because it was that time of year. They were not told that, and they were actually got out of that transaction later because they were not told. Order the environmental, it's $20 more. I never used to really push it because I said our competitors are doing it because they're on commission based, they're kind of doing it. But ever since CAR actually put it in the contract and we're seeing litigation way up, order it with environmental, makes sense. Especially down here, you got Long Beach, San Pedro, this area, there's a lot going on with environmental stuff. And remember, these reports are not there to burn deals. They're just to take the liability off you and off the seller in disclosing what needs to be disclosed to the buyer. And it gives the buyer, allows them to do their due diligence. But order upon listing, because if you don't close, you don't pay. So you might as well have it upon listing anyways, right? Here's another one. We all know how big, flood zones are now and fire zones, right? Fire zones with the new home hardening requirements and all that stuff going on. If you reach out to our office or contact any of our reps, we have an app on our phone. We can pull up the property and send you an email with a picture showing the property, whether it's in or not in a fire zone or a flood zone, right? Where that might require additional work to be done for insurance purposes or all this. State Farm just pulled out of the insurance industry in California. They are no longer rewriting, new policies. State Farm, huh?
Yeah.
Like a good neighbor. Not so much these days, right? But this is let me tell you something. By having this thing, if you know you're going to a listing appointment and you reach out to us and we send you that maps about the flood zone and fire zones, you're walking into your listing and saying, I've already done more research on your home than anybody else does, than any of my competitors that you might be introducing yourself to. Look, I'm showing you it isn't a flood zone. This is how we're going to deal with it. I'm showing you it's in a fire zone. This is what we're going to deal with. I've already done the work for you. And we send actual aerial pictures with them dated of the date that we pulled that map for you. This is a huge benefit because I would want to work with an agent that has that information from me, that's done work on my own home, right?
Yes.
Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
This is probably a naive question, but for condo buildings.
Yep.
Is it still useful to provide something like that?
Why not? Absolutely. But the only difference with a condo building, and your question is not naive at all, it's a great question. The only difference with condo buildings as opposed to a single family home is it might be the HOA may be responsible for the home hardening and what they're doing around the property to clear it out for that,
Well, and I guess the reason why it popped into my head is I've just come across a building where the HOA doesn't actually provide earthquake insurance.
Interesting. You might be able to get earthquake insurance just on your particular unit through something like that. I mean, where I live, I'm not in a flood zone, right? But I'm in a tsunami zone. And I don't know when the next tsunami is coming, but everything is crazy about weather. You turn on the news anytime, big stories, first stories are is weather. We've had 2 tornadoes in California, which is unheard of. We have a Lake Tulare up north, which has been dry for the last 30 years. And now it's a full lake, almost as much water as Lake Tahoe. You know, crazy. It's the second biggest lake next to Tahoe in California. I don't know. So yes, I have flood insurance on my property that's not in a flood zone because I'm in a tsunami zone. I don't know. I just want to make sure. You know, we're being.
Is that listed under the zone disclosure tsunami?
Of course it is. Yeah. There are tsunami zones, earthquake zones, flood zones, fire zones, hurricane zones, tornado zones. Crazy. Tsunami is one of them. Yeah. Yeah. It's not part of the 6 main ones that we signed,
Okay.
but there's 30 other disclosures in the report. Again, we're doing the work, everybody gets the protection. Did I answer all of your questions?
Yeah.
Anything else about my NHD you need to know? We even have our own song, right? I want my NHD, right? I think that MTV thing copied us, right? Something like that. Thank you for having me here today, everybody. I'll be here if they have any more questions.
Eric, thank you.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, let's continue. I think we could be wrapping it up. Next slide. I think it's just upcoming events. And hopefully soon, because my battery is at 26%. All right, just a recap, Home Stager Design Trend for 2023, Friday, June 9th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. If you are interested, RSVP is required. Next slide. Secure the listing with real estate planning. Again, Dan is one of our leaders of KW International. He teaches on real estate planning, and he will be here in person June 21st at the Old Ranch Country Club in Seal Beach. I believe it's $25, but they're also adding Liz, the leader of KW Talent, to this. So it's from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Again, June 21st at the Old Ranch Country Club in Seal Beach. I mean, it's going to be great. Attract top talent, understand what talent is looking for and needs and needs to want to be part of our organization and get the best return on your investment out of your next hire. So again, securing your listing with real estate planning. Next slide. All right. Any listing pitches and buyer needs and wants? Anyone having coming soon listings? Anyone looking for properties? No. Okay. Yes, Sally.
I'm gonna get the listing for Marie, and we have 2 units. It's gonna be in the MLS today. It's a duplex, 2 bedroom, 1 bath. Title says it's 1 bedroom, 1 bath. It's a fixer upper. It's 50. It's mostly for like a cash buyer. But Chris is doing some paperwork on if they add, you know, of course, to get a construction loan on top of it. If you have someone, yeah, okay.
Okay, awesome. Anyone else? Yes, Eric.
Hey guys, I have an off-market in Westport. It's Hawthorne is 190th in the southwest interior, 5 bedroom, 3.5 bath, about 2,400 square feet, remodeled in 2013 after a fire. All that was taken care of by insurance, so everything's abated properly. It's good to go. ADA compliant, really set up for older family members. Detached 2-car